Have you ever wondered why a small car crash can feel so strong, or why a moving truck is much harder to stop than a bicycle? The answer is hidden in physics, in something called momentum and impulse. Today, I will explain these two concepts in a simple way with real-life examples and easy calculation. Okay, first let's talk about momentum. Momentum is the measure of how hard it is to stop a moving object. It depends on two things, mass and velocity. The formula is P equals m times v, where P is momentum, m is mass, v is velocity. This means the heavier and faster an object is, the bigger its momentum. Let's take a real example. A big truck moving slowly can still be very hard to stop. Why? Because it has a large mass, so its momentum is high. On the other hand, a small bicycle moving fast is still easier to stop compared to a truck. Another example is football kicked by a player travels fast because it has velocity giving it momentum. Now let's solve a simple problem. A ball has mass of 2 kilograms and velocity of 3 meters per second. Let's find the momentum. We use P equals m times v, where P means P equals time 2 times 3. So the momentum is 6 kilograms meter per second. Let's move on to impulse. Okay, first, impulse is the change in momentum when a force is applied over time. The formula is impulse equals force times time, or I equals F times T. Impulse shows how a force changes motion. If you increase the time of impact, the force becomes smaller. That is why airbags in cars are important, because they increase time so the force becomes less dangerous. Real life example is when you catch a ball, you move your hand backward. Why? Because you increase the time of stopping the ball. So the force becomes smaller and it doesn't hurt your hand. Another example is landing after jumping. If you bend your knees, you increase time of impact, reducing force on your legs. Now, we are gonna solve an example of impulse. A force of 10 newtons acts for 2 seconds. Find the impulse. We use impulse equals force times time. I equals 10 times 2, meaning the impulse is 20 newton second. In conclusion, momentum tells us how hard an object is to stop. Impulse tells us how force changes the motion over time. And remember, physics is not just formulas, it is the story of how the world moves. Thank you for watching. I'm Dikan Nalika signing out.